The NCAA Wrestling Championships kick off this weekend at Little Caesars Arena downtown. And here is Pat Popolizio, ladies and gentlemen. There's some kind of joke in there, Pat, with Little Caesars and Popolizio, but we're going to let that go for a while, okay? Is that good?
Good stuff. Yep. No,
yeah.
Goes well with each other.
All right. Now, I said this during the break. Did we just load the van up and take everybody to Detroit? Because the ACC's got, 39 invitations in this event, and I think like NC State's got a third to 40% of them, it feels like.
Yeah, no, we actually got the ACC got one more wild card in, so 40 total, and we were just thankful to get all 10 guys in from the ACC tournament. Guys had a good showing there, so get us some good momentum going into the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, all 10 are here, and it's definitely nice to have the full team here.
Coach, number one, congratulations on all your success. That's one. Number two, and maybe even more important, we've had a number of your wrestlers on the show, and they have handled themselves so well in terms of the interviews, can converse, can tell stories, can have fun, can be serious, can be educational. I think it's a real testament to the job you and your staff have done in terms of the quality of the student athlete that you've got involved. And on top of that, you're winning championships, which makes the icing on top of the cake. I mean, so congratulations on really an incredible, well done job in terms of what your program represents.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, our guys take a lot of pride in the culture that we built and representing NC State and the university in a first-class manner. So it makes our job a lot easier. Our staff has done a phenomenal job. Adam Hall, Timmy McCall, Kevin Jack. Those guys work around the clock, and bringing in the right type of kid to NC State means a lot to our whole staff. And when you get them here, it's a unique setting for these guys, and we have a lot of fun together, and it's very motivating to be around these guys. And obviously their hard work starting to really pay off for themselves and our program as well. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Although I am curious, you've been in the Hidley home. Is everything okay there? Because those two, that seems the Brothers of Destruction thing, Pat. That I'm a little concerned. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know that I'd want to be left in the same room with them, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of broken furniture back in the house with PA. Raleigh as well, I would imagine. And that's probably why Hayden's missing his front tooth, is from some of the wrestling that went on. I listened to their interviews, and I think they were being pretty cautious on some of the stories they were telling you. So I think that's why you see those guys out there wrestling and as tough as they are, is because of the relationships that they've grown up with and the battles that they've had with each other. And they're even better in the room sometimes. So, yeah. And I'll tell you this, we did in the preseason, we did some football, like flag football, and it got a little heated. So I saw the intense side of both guys there, and I had to get in the middle and separate them a little bit before it got a little too hot.
Well, you know what? That's what makes them great, though, isn't it? I mean, that competitive edge that, hey, I'll race you to the car. I'm sure everything is a contest, right? And that kind of attitude is actually, I think, good for a team. I don't care if it's a wrestling team, football, basketball, baseball, women's tennis, you name it. When you've got that competitive edge that, hey, guess what? We're always on. That's got to be a good thing.
No, it is. And it brings for a lot of good stories in the room, and just fun to be around these guys and watch their passion to compete. And I think you hit it on the head. That's why these guys are winners. That's why they go out and compete at their best all the time. And that bleeds into the other guys in the team. It's contagious when you have such guys that have that high intensity and can flip the switch, go out there and compete at elite level. And I think that's a big reason why the success we're having is from the start of what those two guys have brought to the table here.
All right, you won 4 straight ACC titles, and now you're still in quest here. I know what the end game is for NC State this week in Detroit. But you've got individual silos here now with these 10 guys going. How do you process from winning in Charlottesville as a team and the individual success there to now trying to get this thing to the house this weekend in Detroit?
Yeah, it's part of the process. The guys signed up. They wrote out their goals in the beginning of the year. One of them was win the dual championships for the ACC, then followed by the tournament. And now NCAA is to produce NCAA champs and bring home, obviously to compete to bring home a team title here, and finishing in the top 4 will get you a trophy. And I know that's what these guys set out to do. There's really good, tough competition across the board, so we know we got to be at our A game. And I feel good where we're at. I think peaking's a big part of this, and where we've been at the last 2 weeks is definitely a high level of wrestling and a work ethic for this team. So some good things are ahead of them.
Pat, obviously experience always helps regardless of the sport. I go back to your match against Iowa, which was a great match. And does a match like that kind of set the tone mentally for what you're walking into for a national championship?
Yeah, anytime you get a chance to compete with the best teams in the country, I think it'll show you what you need to work on, things you can take away that you're doing a good job at. And that was a really good test for our program. And guys walked away from there very motivated. No one got discouraged or had any setbacks mentally. And I think we grew a lot from that with our program, realizing we're not far off from it, but we know we got to work harder and continue to do all the right things and have the discipline outside the room. And it put a lot of guys in check. Our staff, analyzed what we got to work on, and we addressed it. And we gave us a lot of time now going into the NCAAs to showcase what we've worked on.
I know last year the league had a national champion, Austin O'Connor from Carolina, captured a national title. As a guy who knows the league and obviously is the head coach of its most successful program, do you have an expectation for what you think this conference can do in Detroit, Pat?
Yeah, first of all the coaches in the conference are doing a phenomenal job. They've elevated the conference across the country, and people know the ACC is, one of the best conferences now. And I think we've set the standard now to put guys in the national finals and bring home national championships. So any one of us that's out recruiting can say, hey, if you come to an ACC school, you can compete and win a national title as an individual, and teams are closing in on a team title, which is obviously a lot of work to do still. But I think it is. I think we've made a lot of progress as a conference, and only good things are ahead. And I think you're going to see a lot of that play out. A lot of teams bringing home trophies from ACC.
Pat, we had Mekhi Lewis on the other day from Virginia Tech, who's obviously great at what he does. And I asked him, because I've never been to the NCAA Wrestling Championships. It's on my bucket list. And just asked him to describe what it's like as a competitor. And he talked about how jacked up he gets even prior to getting to the mat because the fans, there's so much noise and energy. And he said, just like warming up to get ready, you almost have to calm yourself down a little bit because you get so energized. I'm going to ask you the same question as far as for somebody who's never been. Maybe people are going to sample it for the first time on television and realize, wow, look at what's going on. How would you describe what takes place in Detroit coming up this week?
Yeah, it's one of the most unique sporting events that you can be a part of. Obviously, we're in the back, so we get to see things firsthand, but I think you hit every emotion you can as an athlete, as a coach. Seeing your teammates obviously succeed and some have setbacks. I think you're going to hit every emotion that you can. I think the key is to not have the highs too high and don't let the lows be low. And it's the guys that can stay level-headed and focused and relaxed, and don't overanalyze what's going on this weekend. But it is, if you've never been to the NCAA tournament for wrestling, I highly recommend it as someone that is in sports, because I think the emotions that you see pour out in there, and then the fans themselves that have so much passion for their programs, it gets really loud. And especially when you get down to the finals and you got 18,000 plus in one arena with two guys going out on the mat. I mean, that is a very unique setting to be a part of.
I know in the basketball tournament they talk about hot shooters and hot teams. Is there such a thing as a hot wrestler? Is there an individual who's wrestling well, who just kind of comes in and keeps the momentum going, and everybody in the building kind of knows in that particular weight class, hey, the guy over there for Team X is pretty hot right now?
Yeah, I think the key for, teams like us, obviously all our guys that have experience and are seated pretty high have to show up, compete at the level that they can. And then you need a couple sleepers to show up this weekend. And we've been fortunate enough in years past to have some unseeded guys go really far in this tournament. And I think that's the key to success for any team that's that's looking to make some noise this weekend is to have an unseeded guy, make it to Saturday into the placement rounds and score your team a lot of points where a lot of people don't expect it. And that's what's great about wrestling. It doesn't matter, what you're seated in this bracket. It's anybody's game. It's kind of a fresh start for some of these kids, and excited to see who's the true competitor this weekend that can show up and over wrestle their seed.
That's interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations on all your success. You've been great with us. Your guys have been great with us. And that's really true for everybody in ACC Wrestling, Coach. And it's been kind of neat for us on ACC Network to see a sport get some national play and some recognition, because the quality work that's being done by the coaches and the student athletes has been out of sight. And this sport is taking off in this league. And you obviously have spearheaded it with all the championships. But, man, everybody has really done a great job in the league.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. And I know, not just us at NC State, the whole conference is working really hard and doing a lot of the right things. And you guys obviously giving us the platform for that. The ACC Network has been very impactful. So we all appreciate that.
All right, final question, though. We talked about all the hype that's going to be going on in Detroit. We've been asking coaches this question, and there's no telling what the answer is going to be. But for you personally, Pat, what is your ultimate walk-up song? What's the song to get you absolutely out of your mind? What is it?
Oof, I'm big into country, so I don't know. I would have to do something with Johnny Cash. I'd have to go down my playlist and pick out one of the better Johnny Cash's songs. I see a lot of our guys, obviously good mixture, the Hidleys with their music that they pick out. And but that goes back to the arguments we have in our room right now. We got to split it up pretty good between the playlist that we're on there, but definitely not enough country for me. So that would definitely have to be one of the lists that go down.
So we like Ring of Fire, Folsom Prison Blues, that kind of deal. Is that where we are?
Yeah, that's where I would be heading with that one.
All right.
Ring of Fire, maybe perfect.
Yeah, That's it. Ring of Fire. You'll be a Ring of Fire guy till further notice. Is that okay?
All right. That's actually my call. When someone calls me, that's one of the songs that plays. So that's a good one.
There it is.
All right.
Enough said.
All right. Good luck, my man. Great to see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
All
guys.
right.